T- tel- Telomeres or telomeres are the ends of chromosomes that are involved in cellular replication, which is important for health, for cell maintenance, and also for aging purposes. Every time a cell replicates, and there is a limit to how much it replicates. I'll get to that in a second. These telomeres are kind of like long strings at the end of chromosomes. Every time the cell replicates, the telomere shortens. What is the function of telomeres? Telomeres serve to protect the integrity of the DNA needed for cell replication. In other words, as long as you have the telomeres at the end of the chromosomes, the cell replicates properly, and there's less chance of mutations and cellular problems. What happens when the telomeres shorten to the point where they're hardly there anymore? Then the cell undergoes a process called cellular senescence. Cellular senescence, where the cell is basically no longer replicating, it's just sitting there. It's kind of like some people call it zombie cells. Now, if the cell was just sitting there and not doing anything, not replicating, that would be problematic because they tend to accumulate and get and kind of gum up the works for other cells. But even worse, these cells that are just sitting there, now called senescent cells, they release inflammatory substances that cause what they call systemic inflammation, which is closely associated with the aging process and many degenerative diseases such as cancer, brain disease, cardiovascular disease, and so on and so forth. Now, there's a school of thought that the thing that actually maintains telomeres is an enzyme called telomerase, which basically replaces or helps rebuild telomeres. This led to the idea that if you could supply substances that could increase telomerase, you could slow the aging process and slow a lot of diseases and slow the age and maintain cellular health. As a result, they came out with several substances that are reputed to maintain telomerase, which supposedly would maintain health. But I also hasten to add that there's a couple of things you have to consider. For example, rodents, mice, they have very long telomeres. So theoretically, if the theory was correct, mice should have very long lives, but mice only live an average of 2 to 3 years, despite their long telomeres. That's one thing to consider. The other thing to consider is that neurons, brain cells, do not have telomeres. So even if you had a substance that effectively maintains telomerase, which would maintain telomeres, it's not going to affect the aging of the brain. That's something to consider. Now, anyway, getting back to the supplements, but generally studies show that people that are healthy as they age and have less diseases, stronger muscles, they do tend to have longer telomeres. It's especially important in the heart. Having long telomeres in heart muscle cells apparently maintains the health and strength of the heart. And they found, by the way, that exercise, particularly aerobic exercise, actually maintains telomeres in the heart, meaning that aerobic exercise actually literally helps maintain a younger heart. Now, what about supplements or drugs that may increase telomerase, which would in turn maintain telomeres and supposedly maintain cellular health? Well, they've come up with a couple of ideas. The one problem with increasing telomerase is telomerase also seems to have an involvement with promoting cancer. When the drug companies try to produce synthetic telomerase promoters, drugs, they and the experimental animals all had higher rates of cancer, and they more or less abandoned that project. But this didn't stop the search or the desire for producing substances that could increase telomerase and maintain telomeres, because generally, like I say, longer telomeres are associated with better cellular health. Now, the leading supplement, a couple of years ago, they came out with a supplement called TA65. TA65. What is TA65? TA65 is basically is a substance that's extracted from a popular herb called astragalus. Now, astragalus itself is not the source of TA65. It's a substance in astragalus that's called TA65. The natural substance is called cycloestrogenol, and that's what TA65 really is. There's been quite a few. There's been some interesting studies that have looked at the effects of cycloestranol, and they're pretty good. I mean, it seems to definitely activate telomerase. It also has some anti-aging effects. I'm looking at a study right here, and this and that, and it seems to show good effects at preventing Alzheimer's, antidepressant effects, anti-inflammatory effects. It helps heal wounds, and so on and so forth. So this stuff called cycloestrogenol really does have some health benefits. However, this is a problem. TA65 is nothing more than cycloestrogenol. One thing to consider about TA65 is most of the studies that have shown the benefits of this substance or this stuff have actually been sponsored by companies that have patented or I don't know if you can copyright it, but they have exclusive rights to sell TA65. In other words, they're basically thinly disguised advertisements for TA65. Independent studies of TA65 have confirmed that it does seem to affect telomerase. However, it's not quite as potent as the purveyors of TA65 supplements try and portray. It's not quite that effective. And not only that, but TA65 is the... also, I should point out that the studies show that more is not better when it comes to TA65. They found that lower doses actually work better than taking higher doses. The higher doses don't seem to do anything different than lower doses. And so with the popularity of TA65, you have generic versions of cycloestrogenol are available online from various supplement companies. The question is, are they worth taking? That's a difficult question to answer because there's many other things that can affect telomerase that are a lot of, even the cycloestrogenol supplements are expensive. They average about $50 for only 30 capsules. TA65 itself is the most expensive single supplement I've ever, sorry about that, the most extremely expensive supplement I've ever seen in my life. Right now, I just looked at a couple of sites that are selling actual TA65. The average price ranges from $95 to $800. $800 for a single supplement. And that's a lot of money, where something might not even do anything. And also something to consider is that I wrote an article in my Applied Metabolics publication a couple of years ago. It's available to subscribers. It's in the online archive on the Applied Metabolics site, where I talked about telomeres, how to maintain healthy telomeres, how to stimulate telomerase naturally. And I talked about exercise, by the way. Any type of exercise, resistance training, aerobic exercise, maintains telomerase and will help slow the shortening of telomeres, therefore slowing the aging process. You don't have to take any supplement. You could just get it by exercise. That's the first thing to consider. Second thing to consider, as I mentioned, a study in that article on telomeres in Applied Metabolics, where a group analyzed something like 600 natural substances to find which substances were most effective at stimulating telomerase and thereby maintaining telomeres. And TA65 was one of the substances they tested. And the substance, the natural substance that proved to be the most effective promoter of telomerase was not TA65, but was another herb called Gotu-kola, Gotukola, I believe it's spelled. Gotu-kola, which has a reputation, an ancient reputation for extending longevity, actually was the most effective promoter of telomerase and therefore helping to maintain telomeres. It was something like 8 times more effective than TA65. And interestingly, Gotu-kola cost a fraction of the price of TA65. You can get online for about $7, $8, Gotu-kola. It also is very good to help you sleep, by the way. It interacts with the GABA inhibitory neurotransmitter of the brain. I occasionally use Gotu Cola, not so much for telomerase activation, but to help me sleep. It seems to be pretty effective for that. It's anti-stress, but that's one thing to consider. Another thing to consider is that a lot of the claims made about TA65, they found, like I say, some studies sponsored mainly by the company that sells TA65 or cyclooxygenase, which is what it really is. I'm sorry, cycloestrogenol. That's what it really is. They have sponsored studies indicating that it does effectively stimulate telomerase without causing cancer, but unfortunately, their claims went a little bit too far, and they were basically the Federal Trade Commission went after them. And I'm going to just read you a little bit of a press release that was released by the Federal Trade Commission in 2018. A company and its CEO who allegedly advertised and sold 2 anti-aging products using false or unsubstantiated claims have agreed to stop making the claims under a Federal Trade Commission settlement order. The FTC charged Telomerase Activation Sciences and Knoll Patent, collectively known as TA Sciences, with lacking the scientific support to support claims that their capsules, powders, and creams could provide a broad range of anti-aging and health benefits. Now that's a key point. The Federal Trade Commission went after the main company selling TA65 because the company did not have solid scientific evidence to support the anti-aging claims of their supplement. According to the FDA's administrative complaint, TA Sciences falsely advertised the efficacy and health benefits of 2 products which come in capsule and powder forms and a topical cream. Specifically, the FTC charged that TA Sciences falsely advertised that these 2 products reverse aging and that TA65 prevents and repairs DNA damage, restores aging immune systems, increases bone density, reverses the effects of aging skin and eyes, and prevents or reduces the risk of cancer. TA Sciences also allegedly misrepresented that TA65 skin products decrease the time needed for the skin to recover after medical procedures. In addition to falsely claiming that some of these supposed results were supported by scientific evidence, TA Scientists allegedly misrepresented that a 2012 segment it paid for on the Suzanne Show was independent educational program instead of advertising for TA65. The FTC charged that TA Sciences deceptively represented the consumers in its ads that were independent users expressing impartial opinions of the product. In fact, they received free bottles of TA65 worth up to $4,000 in exchange for their endorsement. Finally, the complaint states that TA Sciences gave promotional materials containing false or unsubstantiated claims for the 2 products to other supplement marketers, providing them with the means to engage in deceptive acts or practices. Let me see if there's anything else worth reading here. No, I think that's about it. But the point being that that TA65, basically, it might have a slight effect, and that's what the independent studies show. TA65 or cycloestrogenol does have a slight effect at stimulating telomerase, which would help maintain telomeres, but it's not nearly as potent as they claim. Now, what if you want to, maintain longer telomeres and you don't want to spend $800 on a product like TA65? Like I say, the first thing you do is buy Gotu Cola. It's 6 to 8 times more effective than TA65 at promoting telomerase and maintaining telomeres, and it's a fraction of the cost. Other things that you can do to maintain telomere length include not smoking. If you smoke 1 pack of cigarettes a day, you lose an additional 5 base pairs on the telomere. In other words, if you smoke a pack a day for 40 years, it's equivalent of a loss of 7.4 years of life. Antioxidants prolong telomeres by stimulating telomerase. Various antioxidant vitamins, vitamin C, E, and others. Stress shortens telomeres. A study showed that telomeres were shorter in a group of stressed women, and telomerase was missing as well when white blood cells were measured. They usually measure telomeres in white blood cells, by the way. The difference between the telomere length of a control group and the stressed women was equivalent to 10 years of life on the average. High fiber intake is associated with elongated telomeres in a group of women, but excessive weight and obesity led to shortened telomeres. Polyunsaturated fatty acids, especially the omega-6 fatty acid linoleic acid, is associated with shortened telomeres. Reduction of protein intake is associated with longevity and longer telomeres. A high-protein diet helps maintain longer telomeres. In rat experiments, protein restriction early in life led to longevity and long telomeres. In these animals, kidney telomeres are particularly long. You can't go by rats and rodents. They have extraordinarily long telomeres. Dietary supplements, the effect of omega-3 fatty acids on telomeres has been studied in detail. Women who consume foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, such as fatty fish, were followed over 5 years. A control group with low omega-3 fatty acid diet were also followed. The antioxidant effect of omega-3 fatty acids reduced the rate of telomere shortening. The control group lacking omega-3 had much shorter telomeres. This group had a moderate risk for developing breast cancer. Other antioxidants like vitamin E, C, and beta-carotene were associated with longer telomeres and a lower risk to develop breast cancer. As I said, antioxidants protect the DA of telomeres from oxidative damage. Let me see. You want to keep your body fat down, exercise, eat foods such as salmon, herring, mackerel, halibut, anchovies, flounder. These are all sources of omega-3. Black raspberries, loganberry, green tea, broccoli sprouts, tomatoes, olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. All these things, which are usually found in something called the Mediterranean diet, actually help to protect the telomeres. So I think I've really covered that. The point of this video was I wanted to talk. I saw a couple of advertisements for the cycloestrogenol, and I realized that this is a generic form of TA65, and as I said, the cycloestrogenol supplements are much less expensive than TA65. So what you want to draw a line under this and sum it all up. What you come up with is TA65 is a massive ripoff. It's not necessarily a fraud because it does have a slight actual activity in promoting telomerase, which would help maintain telomeres and also extend the life of cells. However, it's a minor effect, and as I pointed out in this video, you can achieve the same effect with eating certain foods like omega-3, exercise, or if you want to take a supplement that stimulates telomerase a lot more effectively, buy some Gotu Cola. It's harmless, it's good for you, helps you sleep. And forget TA. I don't think anybody really, to be honest with you, I don't think, I would guess that most of the people watching this video would not be dumb enough to spend $800 on a supplement like TA65, whose only evidence is mainly produced by companies that sell it. You got to be pretty dumb to do that, but a lot of people have done it. And if you look online, there's a lot of anecdotal evidence, meaning people raving about what TA65 has done for them. It's made them look younger, and suddenly they have all this energy, and their muscles are growing again, and their hair is turning black. All this stuff. This is all anecdotal evidence, has no scientific basis, and a lot of the so-called beneficial effects of TA65 are nothing more than here we go again, the old placebo effect. The placebo effect, 50% of actual medications, actual drugs work by the placebo effect, meaning they're not really doing much, but you think they're doing something, and they're doing something. In fact, most antidepressant drugs work more in a placebo effect than actually doing anything. A lot of people don't know that. Some people have even ascribed the effects of anabolic steroids to placebo effects. In other words, they've done studies where they've given actual anabolic steroid drugs and a placebo to a group of athletes, and they told all the athletes they were taking a anabolic steroid drug, and the group that took the placebo, which of course was not any type of anabolic steroid, they made the best gains of their life because they believed they were taking an anabolic steroid. The anabolic steroid, by the way, was decadorablin, an injectable steroid. That was an old study done many years ago. And I'm not saying, but wait, in case anybody criticizes it, I'm not saying at all the anabolic steroids are a placebo. They certainly are not. They are real. They definitely promote muscle gains. But my point is that a large percentage of the effect of anabolic steroids, particularly if you take them up for an extended time, is the placebo effect. In other words, If you think that you're going to make gains, you might, change your diet a little, train harder, and you'll ascribe it to the anabolic steroids when in fact it's more related to the things that you're doing without realizing it. So that's about it for this video. I know I didn't get a question about this. The thing that prompted me to make this video, I came across a whole bunch of ads for cycloestrogenol supplements, generic. These were not TA65. Apparently, there's a lot of companies selling this now. They're making the same claims that TA65 did about how it's going to extend your life and all that. But like I say, telomeres are a controversial subject in what they call geriatric medicine or gerontology, the study of aging, because theoretically they will slow the aging of a lot of tissues and organs in the body, meaning if you maintain longer telomeres. However, like as I said, whether it leads to a longer lifespan is open to question. And also important point is that certain tissues and cells don't have telomeres, like the neurons in the brain. So, taking a telomerase activating substance is not going to prevent the aging of the brain, and the aging of the brain is one of the worst things associated with aging. That's the fact. Everybody gets a little bit of a memory problem as they get older, but unfortunately, taking a cycloestrogenol, how do you say it again? Cycloestrogenol supplement will not help your brain at all. Although some animal studies show that it seems to help prevent Alzheimer's disease, that has not been confirmed in humans. It may or may not. So I'll just leave it at that. If you want more information on nutrition, exercise science, anti-aging research, including anti-aging supplements, supplement science, which supplements work, which ones don't, ergogenic aids, the supplements that will help you train harder and longer and more intensely, hormone therapy, such as testosterone replacement therapy. All the new aspects of testosterone replacement therapy and other hormone therapy is discussed in Applied Metabolics. Women's health and fitness. I discuss all various topics related to women. I don't ignore women's health and fitness needs. It's all that's included in Applied Metabolics. It's 40 to 50 pages every month. No advertisements. Pure evidence-based information that includes my over 6 decades of constant study and experience that I believe can't be matched by any other digital publication. So subscribe today at www.appliedmetabolics.com. When you subscribe, send me an email and I'll send you an invitation to join my private Applied Metabolics Facebook page, where each day I post brand new information on medicine, exercise, and nutrition. Every day I post new studies about that, brand new. But you have to be a subscriber to access that Facebook page. It's private. I have an email portal on my Applied Metabolics webpage where current subscribers only can send me short questions about anything they read in Applied Metabolics or anything related to nutrition, exercise that they're curious about. I will answer their question as a appreciation of their subscription to Applied Metabolics. Obviously, this applies only to current subscribers of Applied Metabolics. So, again, subscribe today. You won't be sorry. I guarantee you'll learn something. And in case you're wondering, Applied Metabolics is written in plain English, unlike a lot of digital publications which read like doctoral dissertations, where you have to have a science dictionary at hand to understand what they're saying, because these other digital publications, they're not written by writers. I've been a professional writer for over 50 years, so I know how to write for the public. I wrote for bodybuilding magazines for over 30 years, so my articles are completely understandable by somebody who got as far as the 6th grade. And even if you're completely illiterate, there are programs offered by Microsoft that are free that will read you the articles where you don't even have to be able to read. So you have no excuse for not increasing your knowledge, because knowledge is power. And you get that by subscribing to Applied Metabolics. There is no other comparable digital publication. I absolutely guarantee that. So subscribe today. Also, this channel, Jerry Brainerd channel on YouTube, it's free, completely free. I post new videos every Tuesday. You please feel free to subscribe. I think when you subscribe, they'll send you a notice that I have a new video posted. But I post a new one every Tuesday, so you don't even have to worry about that. And if you think my videos of any value, please let others know about the existence of this channel. I like, this is a no bullshit channel. It's 100% truth. There's no dancing girls. There's no fancy graphics. There's no laughing faces in the background. Every time I, say something humorous, these videos, they pop up a person laughing, which to me is very kind of, that's like for people that like to watch Mickey Mouse cartoons. I mean, they're treating you like you're a simpleton. I don't think that's necessary. What I think it's important in these videos is imparting useful and actual factual information that's practical and can be used today. That's most important. And that's what I try and do in these videos. So subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Applied Metabolics. You won't be sorry for either one of them. Thank you for listening.